Little, not really a review, more a, well, it's gonna be kind of a review, but more a, kind of talk about a style. You may have seen this beer. It's a cool can. It is Common Knudeln, Kentucky Common from Against the Grain. Oh, come on, focusing on the can art here. Yeah, well. So anyway, so you might have seen this beer. I did a unboxing of my new phone in a Rambly 24-ounce Tuesday video. And I was gonna just record a review of this beer with the new phone. But of course, like all new phones, it has a million updates to install. So, and the beer is it's worth. I'm just gonna, while I'm waiting for everything, let's talk about it. So this is a Kentucky Common. You've probably maybe never heard of a Kentucky Common before. I happen to be a complete and utter nerd with very little else in my life, so of course I know what a Kentucky Common is. that's yeah. Anyway. So this is a beer style. This is one of those, they call them pre-prohibition beer styles that they may have or may not have made before Prohibition destroyed basically the entire brewing industry in the United States. But this was probably made in Kentucky and other parts of the South. It was a darker beer, like a brown ale, but you know, made back then, kind of probably was infected, I guess, they try and romanticize it, that it was probably a sour mash, but it was probably sour mash. There's probably very little cleanliness to it, so it's basically a sour brown ale, and not like an old Bruin, but more like a much less sweet than that, you know, like an old Bruin is usually pretty really sour and really kind of sometimes full-bodied. Anyway, so I've only ever had a couple of these, and I don't know if anyone, if you're out there, if you're a Kentucky Common guru, then of course set me straight in the comments. But let's take a look at this. It says drink it out of the can, but I'm gonna pour a little bit into a glass so you can kind of see so there's the color of it. It is it's when you hold it up to the light, which of course I don't think I can get it on the camera, but it is a brown ale. It does have a ruby hue to it. I can see the light through it anyway, but look at how still it gets. I think it's, yeah. And it smells, you can smell the tartness on it. I would guess that it just says that this dark sour beer is tart and easy, just like we like them. Tart and easy, yeah. I would guess that it's sour mashed or kettle soured. So it's basically, let's call it a kettle soured brown ale. And I mean, I've had a lot of kettle sours that don't have any. I mean, this just looks like a glass of cola to me. There's nothing to it. It just smells slightly acidic, with like maybe the barest hint of some caramel in there. It's crazy thin. Yeah, it's very thin, very not brown ale, but then it's got this kind of crystal malt aftertaste that's very not what you would consider a sour beer. It's also 6.5%, so it's a decent. It's no Berliner, so it's cool for what it is. This is the kind of style that when I heard about it, like, oh, pre-prohibition sour brown ale, that sounds so cool. And I put it, I put it on the brew list, like, oh, I want to make one of those one days, and you know, it went. Can you see that I'm sweating in this sweater? Oh, that's nasty. Ooh, a little behind the curtain for you. Yeah, of course I'm never gonna get around to brewing it because, yeah, brew list, that's how it goes. But I do like to pick them up whenever I see them, and I don't know if this is it's not a good beer. I'll just get that right out of the way. It's not the kind of beer that I would want to go back to. Sure, it's kind of easy drinking, but it's just like it's like a dark Berliner, but it's got a bit of metal to it. It's the flavor isn't all that complimentary, although I kind of see where it could be if, I don't know, if this was just, yeah, well, it was a try at a style that hasn't been around, that nobody has ever tasted because whoever maybe tasted it is dead. But what do you think about Kentucky Common? Has anybody ever made one? I've heard of people making them with just acid malt to give it just a little tang. I've heard of kettle souring, I've heard of sour mashing, stuff like that. It's a really cool, from a homebrewing perspective, I think, I mean, this is a fine enough beer. It's okay. I got it on sale. I wonder why they're trying to get rid of it. Yeah. But like I said, I wanted to get a discussion going on Kentucky Common. Tell me if you've ever had one. Maybe you know a lot more about it than me, but it's such a cool sounding beer style. Like, it piques my homebrew interests. And maybe if someone's got some knowledge, drop me some knowledge in the comments. Maybe it'll bump up the list, or somebody else brew it and tell me about it. That would be cool. Somebody do my brewing for me. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to that ramble. I'm gonna get back to playing with my new toy. Cheers, and yeah. Yeah.